Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Inept General, and it is good to be back. I'm just going to hang on a couple of minutes to make sure that all of you guys can hear me okay. Give me a shout in the chat if you can. It's been a while since I've been at this, my dear Inept Army, so bear with me a second. And there is a bit of a delay, so if this is just dead air, I do apologize. But don't worry, guys, there's no bad news on this stream whatsoever. There's nothing particularly wrong with me, but just checking in to make sure people can hear. Brilliant. Okay. Everyone's good to go? Let's keep this going. Alright guys, it's great to be back. The Inept Army, let's just get straight to it guys. The big question, if you have any random questions, let's just kick them off at the end, because I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here, just going through one thing or the other. So the big question, where have I been? Nowhere in particular really. After the release of the last DLC, basically I just fell off the wagon, not in terms of drinking or anything like that, but it didn't grab me as I thought it would do, the last one. I had a great fun going through some of the campaigns, but basically without sort of constant updates in the game, I sort of lost a bit of interest, and then I hit this project I've been working on, which you guys will see probably before the end of next week, that I finally have sort of managed to start to wrap up, at least sort of partway through, and we'll get to that a little bit later in terms of what's up next on the channel, guys. And basically that's what happened, and I got this big project. I had a massive block, and 1 week led to 2 weeks of procrastination, and then I ended up going on a couple of pretty long holidays, and it just sort of fell off the Total War Warhammer wagon. And I'll be honest, without any of the updates, my hype train levels dropped to 0. This was the equivalent of my hype train level. That's it, just a rusted old train by the side of the road. That's as excited as I was about the game, and without the sort of enthusiasm for the game driving me, I kind of sort of left the channel a little bit, took some time away, and maybe to recharge my batteries. I don't think it was burnout in particular, just really moving on to other things, and, you know, enjoying summer as well to a certain extent. But, guys, I'm back. There's a new DLC in the works. I can't wait to get into it with you, and this is not mainly what this stream is about, I'm going to warn you. But I will say that I am about to launch a video straight after this stream that will be my breakdown, analysis, and thoughts on the whole Vampire Coast. Now, I'll give you this for nothing before we get to that video. I am surprised. I'm actually super surprised at the DLC. I did not think the next one was going to be Vampire Coast. I genuinely thought it was going to be the Dogs of War. That's what I thought it would be. I thought, there's no way. If we're going to get Vampire Coast, I thought it'd be last. It'd be like a Norska package. And in a way, it kind of is like the Norska package. You know, they really had to not make up a good number of units. They had a basis, a foundation, which I made a video on, I think almost more than a year ago at this stage. I do recommend you go and check it out. It's probably on the front page of the channel of the channel if you want to give it a look later today. And so they just took those kind of rough ideas in a one issue of White Dwarf and made them into a full army. But you know what? I'm a bit mixed about it. Like, I am very excited to see Luther Harkon and that army in there, but I would have been a little bit more hyped about Dogs of War. So the hype train, I don't think is straight on the tracks and back in working fashion for me, but maybe there was just some random collector who's sort of looking at it and going, oh, maybe we can restore this hype train and get it going again. I think maybe because an aspect of it is that I think the vampire counts have maybe a bit too much love in the game already. They already have like 5 or 6 legendary lords if you count the Red Duke. And it's just like there's a lot of undead in the game, whereas some other factions are greatly missing some options, including humans. I mean, Norska is kind of a sub-faction of Chaos. But, you know, I'm so excited about it, just not as excited as I would be about a Dogs of War. So, with that out the way, guys, it's great to be back, great to be chatting to you. I will address the chat in a minute. Let me know if I ramble on too long, but let's go down the list. So that's where I've been, guys. That's what I've been doing. And yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'd like to hear your guys' ideas on who you think the Legendary Lords will be. I do speculate about it in the video I will be releasing later on today, probably about 5-10 minutes after I finish this stream. So look forward to that. I think it will be mainly Dreadfleet related. So that'll be fine. And yeah, it looks great. I love these Leviathan ships. I'll say that just off the top. I think they're a great addition. I think made up out of the blue. Let me know if I'm wrong about that, guys. But I think that's actually just completely new from Creative Assembly. Just made that one up themselves. So with that all having been said, with a video in the chamber ready to go as soon as the stream is over, what's coming up for the channel? So there's a few things coming up. Obviously, guys, I'm going to be following the news of the DLC. Can't wait to see some unit stats on that, how they'll compare to other armies in the game. A very artillery and missile heavy focused undead army, as it should be, as it was designed to be after all. Now, with that said, that's going to be one of the ongoing things. The next thing is one of the sort of series favorites that I haven't updated in a long time, even longer than I've been away, was the... I'm out of order here, so let's go back. And yeah, the next lore thing I'm going to be doing is good old Aleph Anar. Now, guys, it's going to be a two-parter. It's going to be a pretty big, pretty long two-parter. It was a project that kind of got me hung up a little bit more, but it will be a two-parter, and one part will be out before Wednesday, and the next part will be out before the following Wednesday. So you'll get a double helping of lore from me in terms of the Legendary Lord lore coming up, guys. And down the road, for I was going to say, I believe, was this, the Shadow of the Horned Rat series, which I know a lot of you like. Unfortunately, that series is dead, guys. What happened was I bought a new graphics card. I moved on from my Radeon graphics card to an NVIDIA one. And the recording software and the NVIDIA and the game and the old code in this game do not get on at all. So there's no way I can record the game and just have it play back. So there's no way around it. I've tried all kinds of different solutions. I can't figure it out. So unfortunately, I won't be able to finish this series for you guys. It happened a while ago, actually, before I kind of took a step back from the channel for a few months. But what I have as an alternative for you guys, and let me know if you want to hear it, is would you like me to do a narrative telling of the game? I can't show you the game itself, but I can tell you the rest of the story of the game, what happens. I'll even talk through various choices you get to give and which ones I would have picked at the time. And then we can maybe do a sum up of the whole story at the end. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in hearing that, because that'd be a fun little project, I think, just trying to do a purely narrative Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Rat talk. Let me know if you're keen on that in the comments down below, guys. And apart from that, the next kind of shorter series that I'll probably be trying to do quick fire is going to be finishing off the Bretonnian dukedoms. Just a completionist in me wants to see the rest of them done. There's still a few more to go, but they're relatively easy to do. So those will maybe be sort of between the two Aleph Anar episodes of the lore. You'll probably see one or two of these popping up in the short term. And basically, in the long term, what I realized was a pitfall for the channel, and not something I ever designed to be, because I didn't actually, when I started the channel, think it would be all about Total War Warhammer 2. I did think I'd get some other games in, but, you know, there's just a lot to cover in the Warhammer universe. But I am going to be looking to cover a different game universe. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet. I'll just give you this one hint, and you'll probably be able to guess that it will be another... I'm going to keep up the tradition of this channel of keeping gaming universes which are officially dead alive. So I'll give you that as a hint in terms of that, but that probably won't be for another 2 or 3 weeks when we'll launch into a new game being covered on the channel. But apart from that, guys, that's really about it. I'm going to try and address some questions in the chat now. Sorry if that was a quick fire round, but it was just really to touch base with the Inept Army, say, hi guys, I'm back. There's another video coming out in about whenever this is finished. And I hope you guys enjoy my take on the DLC and all my thoughts on the different options you get for it. But until then, let me just go back through the chat and let's see what are any questions. So people seem to be keen on the idea of a narrative for Shadow of the Horned Rat. People seem to join me. The graphics card I ended up buying was a 1080 Ti, I think it was. And I bought it in a really bad time, back when all that digital currency stuff didn't boom. I could not have picked a worse time to go. Now, in terms of the captains, guys, I'm seeing some suggestions. Saltspite is in a picture. It has been debated. My only argument is that she's not a vampire, but that's in the video you guys will see pretty soon. Because there are a lot of undead admirals around the Warhammer world, kind of. If you look at Dreadfleet and the Warhammer Fantasy Universe Classic, as it were. A lot of people shouting out for more lore. Oh, that's the Necrofex Colossus from the Monstrous Arcanum. Thank you for letting me know that, guys. I actually missed that. But that's good to know that that is one of the things that rampages around. Someone give me a shout to play Mordheim? Maybe. I might get into that at some stage. Sorry, and more videos about the dwarves. I know I will maybe, as you guys know, I did a full series on the Empire in terms of all the different provinces. I'm going to try and finish off this Bretonnian one. And I may, after that, look into doing a Dwarven Carrack one. People have been asking me for that since the very early days of the channel, guys. So I'll maybe be looking to do a Dwarven Carrack one. Depending on if there's enough information on every single one. There are some very famous Carracks with a lot of lore about them. And there are some that aren't really covered at all. So I'm going to try and do my best with that. I'll maybe just do a handful of them. Maybe not all, maybe just sort of 5 or 6 of the major ones, and maybe leave it at that, because there are a lot of sort of Carracks around, and it can be a bit tricky getting to know them all. Am I get back in Shadow of the Horned Rat? I did mention that a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, I'm just going to have to do a narrative if you guys are keen to see that. The new DLC, Dominic, as I said, I do like it. I am excited for it. It's just not what I was expecting and what I was most excited for, but I am pretty excited for it as well. They do seem to like the undead a lot in the Creative Assembly offices. Is all I'm going to say really about that. But I am pretty psyched. I can't wait to get my hands on it. And I'm actually more looking forward to the different mechanics. I think the idea of a half-horde faction when they're out at sea and they can build their own buildings opens up a lot of opportunities. And I'm just curious about what that actually looks like in practice. And I'm sure we'll get a better idea with the weeks ahead before the official release. Yeah, Dracula I thought might be an option. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a bit of a spoiler for the video I'm going to release later on today. In terms of, for my money, I think Noctilus from Dreadfleet is going to be a captain. He's another vampire who basically kind of discovered Davy Jones's locker, and it's basically what the whole Dreadfleet game is about. He used to be von Karstein, actually, so he's actually a bit younger than Luther Harkon. Luther Harkon's as old as some of the first vampires. He was down in Lamia, so he is one of the oldest vampires in the world. Whereas I think Noctilus is Nicholas von Karstein, and he was made after the von Karsteins took over Sylvania, I believe. So he's a little bit younger, but he has a guy. There's also an ethereal ghost that's kind of his right-hand man called Van Geist, and he might be a character in it as well. I think they maybe put Saltzbite in it because she's a woman. I hate to say that, but because they like to have a woman general, and it's good to have women generals in the game as well. But because I believe she was the only female in Dreadfleet. I'm not 100% sure on that. I believe she was. But we'll have to wait and see on that. So I think I think those 3 maybe are gonna be the generals, with maybe Saltzbite coming in and seeing what it says. Yeah, Rama, I think in early doors, a long time ago, we initially spoke to Lawmaster Sotek about doing a video with him, and now I'm back. I'm gonna try and find my footing, and then maybe we'll reach out and try and do something together, because it has been kind of a long time coming. So we'll try and get something sorted out there. But just gonna try and get my first few videos out and from underneath me, and we'll get them out to you guys to enjoy. And then I'll look at doing some more cooperative projects with people and get back into the swing of things. I think, yes, Modern Crusader 9, I completely agree with you. I do think that the free Legendary Lord coming out of the new DLC will probably be a Dark Elf just to even out, get them with their 4th Legendary Lord. I think with the theme of the pack, actually, Lockyer Fellheart actually sounds like the better. He sounds like he'd fit perfectly in with the pack, which is something to be said, and that would go well. My only confusion, like, I would think, like, in terms of popularity, it would be Malice Darkblade, but maybe there's an issue over the book and the use of the character. I wouldn't have thought so, but the fact that Fellheart fits in so well with the DLC package, I'm a little bit split on it. If you really sort of forced me into a corner, if you'd asked me, I probably would have said Darkblade. But just Fellheart fits in so nicely with the whole DLC. It's hard to say. It's going to be one of those two, I think, though, for sure. I think we will get, Dominic, I think we will get Neferata. He's asking whether we'll get Neferata and the Gash in the game. And I think we will get Neferata in the 3rd version of the game. When we're fighting more to the east and the north. So we're looking at getting armies like Kislev, the Ogre Kingdoms, and around that area is kind of where Neferata's based these days. So I think that's when we'll see the introduction to Neferata, and I think the Gash might be maybe the final DLC of the whole thing, because they've kind of shot their load as far as End Times goes. Archaon's already in the game, so if you want another big, massive threat to come sweeping up from somewhere, get the Gash in there, and I think he might be the final DLC of the trilogy of games. So it's going to be a long time till we see Nagash, particularly at this rate with one DLC every 6 months. Matt's asking if we will get an update on Mousillon. I doubt it. I don't think we're ever going to see a specific Mousillon army. I think they're just going to leave it as it is, as part of a Vampire Count faction. You could really specialize it if you wanted to, but at this stage, they don't look like they're doing huge changes to the armies. They're kind of tweaking them a little bit from Total War Warhammer 1, but they're not doing massive overhauls or introducing a huge amount of new units. So I doubt we'll be seeing a Mousillon update. But hey, I'm the guy who said it was really unlikely we'd be seeing a Vampire Coast army. So what do I know, really, at the end of the day? It's just silly. Bobi Bopo, I think that's how you say it. Thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Very much appreciated. Thanks for welcome back. It is good to be back. Warhammer 4 game. My God, I think it's a very long time off for Warhammer 4. Actually, something I've missed out while I was away, guys. I want to ask you guys a question. So, Creative Assembly put together this whole conversation, this whole sort of narrative around them doing more work, and that's why it's taking so long to get Warhammer DLC out. Now, on the surface, the cynic in me would maybe say that it's not that, it's just you guys have a lot of projects on, and we're a grown-up fan base, you can just say you have a lot of projects on, it's taking the same amount of time. But let me know in your opinions, guys, if you actually think that the amount of detail we've seen in this and we've seen in Tomb Kings is valid. That's a valid shout. Whether you think it should take 4, 5, 6 times longer than it used to for DLC, and if the work is kind of up to that kind of difference of time, because I feel like it's a lot of opportunity loss, sort of opportunity cost here, where Creative Assembly sort of accountants there have to be doing the opportunity cost of not doing Warhammer DLC versus doing DLC for something like Attila, and just be like, we're just losing money in that. So I'm actually curious what you guys think on that topic, because it's something that I sort of saw pop up, and I really missed out talking to you guys when it was sort of a hot topic a couple of months ago. Next faction, Conlao. Next faction, Araby or Dogs of War. Ooh. Actually, now you say it out loud, I actually completely forgot about Araby. I didn't forget about Araby, but Araby would have actually been a pretty interesting army to see as well. Probably an easier army to make. I'm very excited to see Luther Harkon, but I'm surprised. I suppose maybe there's no famous Araby general. That's why they maybe felt there wouldn't be as much of a fan clamoring for it. I mean, there are famous characters from the era, but you really have to be deep into your lore or have watched my video on Araby, guys, which if you haven't already, I do recommend you do. I think the next one would probably have to be Dogs of War, if we even see another one before Total War Warhammer 3. So I think we'll see the Skaven race pack, but I'm not sure if we'll necessarily see another race before it's some kind of pre-order bonus for the next game. Because they've been working on that third game for a little while now. So it's a matter of, I'm not sure if we'll see another one. Hopefully we will. I'd love to see both Dogs of War and Araby in the game before they move on to Total War Warhammer 3. Yeah, Fizzy Purple. I think what happened with the Harkon model in terms of him, Fizzy's complaining that he doesn't look enough like a pirate. There were some sort of illustrations out there, but they never made a model. There were some custom models out there. But I think towards the end times, they actually did an illustration of him, and that kind of tied the hands of Creative Assembly. They had to make him look like the guy they kind of drew up. I think those pictures only came out towards the end times, so they had to make him look like that eventually, because their hands were just a little bit tied on that one. Cheesy Sword, well, I think Araby will still happen, but they didn't want to do Tomb Kings and Araby back to back. That's maybe a good point. Just make that little part of the world too busy. Because I think Araby can slot in. All they'd really do is take over all the starting positions of the Bretonnian factions still down in that part of the world. It'd be a pretty easy fit in. Rama, Malice better as a Game Free edition because of the obvious demonic connection. Thematically, yeah, you're kind of agreeing me on that one, I think. He does need the bicorn hat. You're absolutely right. I think we're all in agreement here. The FQ, yeah, she is on that. There is a picture of a woman with a red bandana, but red bandanas were pretty common. And there is an argument. I put this argument forward in terms of my video, guys. Do you think we'll see new Lizard Legendary Lords? Not this year. I think after the new year. Now you have to think about when their next big game is coming out, and that's Three Kingdoms. So I have to say that I think that the Lizard Men and the Skaven, will we get them between that January and March? Is it March, I believe, Three Kingdoms release date? I don't know if we will, in which case we'll be waiting another huge amount of time before the next DLC. And that's maybe why I'm going to delve into some other games in the meantime, because I can't, I'm just going to get bored of that amount of downtime again. So hopefully we get it before March, but they're going to give Three Kingdoms a huge run-up for marketing and some time afterwards. So even if they had it ready, they wouldn't release it, I don't think, anywhere around that Three Kingdoms release date. So fingers crossed, maybe we get that thing in, because it's maybe it's the Legendary Lord packet as opposed to a full race pack. So maybe fingers crossed, but I don't know, it's a toss-up really. But that's really... Oh, you know what, guys? Thank you for all the questions. I hope I'm not missing out on anyone, but I think you guys will be keen. A lot of the stuff I've covered, and a lot of the questions about the DLC will be covered in my breakdown video. So I think I'm basically going to wrap it up there, guys. Thank you very much for welcoming me back with open arms. Mwah, it is fantastic to be back in touch with you all. And I think I'm just going to wrap things up there. And do watch the breakdown video that will be up in about 10 minutes from now. And yeah, guys, it's great to be back, and look forward to more videos. Big Aleph Anar video, or Aleph Anar as they like to say it in the game, video coming up in the next two or 3 days. So look forward to that one as well, guys. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it. As always, guys, a huge thank you to you all for watching and listening. And I hope to catch you all on the next one. All right, guys. Bye.